Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. I'm the Magi and welcome to Midweek Magic, where I want you to grow your collection by winning 2 free rare or better ICRs each and every week. This week brings us the Edge of Eternity's inspired Brawl Builder Challenge, so we will be building Brawl decks around commanders available through Edge of Eternity's. And no matter what your budget or collection looks like, we have an answer for you. But before we get into all of that, this whole Midweek Magic thing has become a bit of a tradition here at the Stronghold, and it all started with our crack team of researchers discovering that we were the only YouTube channel making consistent, proactive, and timely Midweek Magic coverage. And here we are years later, and it appears that we're still the only ones out there doing it for the budget community. So be sure to subscribe to the Planeswalker Stronghold so that we can be here for you every chance we get. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, right. It's customary here at the Stronghold that whenever an event like this comes up, I like to leave it up to the community to decide what we build around, narrowing the selection down to the most budget-conscious options. And this time around, by a narrow margin, we actually are going to be playing a black-white aristocrats deck. Although we also are going to give a little concern there to the mono-white toolbox build as well. We got something special there for you. Surprisingly, the green-white Be My +1 is honestly the commander that I think has the potential to be most successful as a standalone Brawl deck. Little inside track here, when I put these surveys out, they're usually in order of what I would choose. So it's interesting that the community in this case least selected the card that I thought was going to be the best, and instead pretty overwhelmingly chose the card that I thought was the worst available option. And well, that's why I seek the input of the community, because I don't always know what you're thinking. Alright, so let's start off by talking about some budget alternatives here, and frankly, it almost never gets more budget than putting together a big dumb green deck. You can assemble such a Brawl deck basically just using cards from your starter collection, focused on ramping as well as playing the before mentioned big dumb green creatures for the win. This is a particularly nice strategy to combine with the Gruul Tanuk Memorial Ensign card. The focus on ramp makes this a very nice little commander for it. You should certainly have some additional landfall focused cards already in your collection, and if not, you should probably consider adding them. The mono green landfall deck is one of the best budget decks in the current standard format. And of course, using Tanuk as your commander also allows you to splash in the occasional red card for more removal or card selection and things like that. Although it's frankly not even necessary and may have a polluting, potentially negative impact on your mana base, so consider it carefully. Many of you will remember that back during Tarkir Dragonstorm, when the Brawl event came up, one of my suggestions for a budget deck was using the copy of Elspeth that randomly showed up in your collection from packs or drafting or anything like that, along with the Heir Apparent strategy, in order to combine with those cards from your starter collection and things like that to come up with a very budget-friendly and efficient deck. This time around, we can slide that Elspeth into the 99, use the Siriema as a commander for the deck this time around, and add in whatever mono-white legendary creatures you have for additional toolbox effect. And once again, you will have a very inexpensive yet efficient deck to take into this event. And hey, let's not fool ourselves. The truth is, any existing Brawl deck that you have built and in your collection, substituted with a appropriately color-coded commander from Edge of Eternities, will likely be enough to get you through this event, even if the new commander does not particularly synergize with the existing deck concept. Although, of course, it would be better if it did. As we begin talking about the Servandum Sunstar Exemplar Brawl deck, I want to be absolutely clear. I did not build this deck as a budget deck. It does, however, really take a good job of highlighting a lot of those cards that should at least be long-term goals to have in your Brawl playable collections. Things like Anduril Flame of the West. Honestly, I would put this in every single Brawl deck if I could afford to do so. And of course, with Brawl, once you have crafted a single copy, there you go. Another fine example are the fetch lands. These are basically only playable in Brawl and Timeless, so certainly not something that needs to be in everyone's collection, but if Brawl is your jam, you're going to want a one-of, obviously, playset of all of the fetch lands sooner or later. Other things like Path to Exile, great removal piece, similarly sorts the Plowshares, very similarly there. Bitter Blossom is another great card for this deck, but you know, it's a mythic and not going to fit in every single deck. Now, that having been said, when you look at the rarity counts and see 52 total rares, including the commander, and another 11 mythics, as I said, this is not a budget deck, but I did try and make some concessions with the list to use not only cards available from your starter collection, but also standard. So if you can't craft this deck all at once, keep in mind it's a midweek Magic list. Take what you can from it, use the ideas, maybe make some investments. But overall, I think the overarching Aristocrats strategy is here, and there's lots of different cards that you can use to fill in the blanks to make this work for whatever your budget constraint is. So there are my thoughts on this week's Brawl Builder Challenge for Midweek Magic, and hopefully you find something to help you get through this event successfully, regardless of your resources. On a related note, some of the sharp-eyed folks out there have already noticed that I have split my Brawl recommendations now into 3 different parts. Those specifically that are from standard legal sets with the mindset of standard Brawl. Cards that are not standard legal, secondly, as standard adjacent. So they're in things like the list and stuff like that from standard legal sets, but those individual cards are again not standard legal. And then of course we've got the original Brawl Stars deck, which focuses on long-term goals for building up your Brawl collection. If you haven't seen them already, all of those 3 lists are available on Aetherhub. And hey, just in case you didn't catch all that, Matt would like you to know that the deck list that we discussed in this video is going to have a link down in the doobly-doo to take you over to Aetherhub, along with a link to any other alternative list that you might wish to consider. He only asked that you give it a little thumbs up when you're over there checking out the deck list. And I plan on live playing this event on Wednesday at 11 a.m. over on my Twitch channel, so definitely stop in and check it out. Because the Stronghold is so much more than just a YouTube channel, and you can find links to all of our other social media outlets in our profile. Because at the end of the day, we're all budget players. And as a community, we're stronger together. So like, comment, subscribe, follow, do all those things to show a little love. It's appreciated more than you know.